Happy to be here with you, and we would like to talk a little bit about QSR and hospitality. And to be open to you, my first project within the digital signage market was in 2006, I think, a digital menu board within a bigger food chain probably. And at that point, it was just a silo installation with just quality information based on that. But now I think the market has changed a lot. We are coming out from nice to have to business critical. But Maike, please, could you tell us a little bit what happened really in the QSR market in the last years, and what are your personal feelings about that?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Maike. I'm work for Visual Art. We are a full-service digital signage company and have some clients in the QSR business. And of course, we recognize all the changes in the industry, especially due to these technology change during the last couple of years, but also because of the changes from the digital natives. There are so many digital natives out there nowadays, and they have different values. They want to have more speed on service, and they want to have, they are used to get personal recommendations when it comes to content, so they also want to get customized products when they are in a quick service restaurant. And at 2016, as you mentioned, it was more about menu boards. It was about one-to-many communication, so one menu board for everybody. And now it's more with mobile ordering, with kiosks that you have one-to-one communication. And then, you need to change the whole approach behind.
So even the customer journey has changed a lot. So basically, which influence does this have to the store or to the restaurant at that point?
The restaurant is still like a quick service restaurant, so everything needs to be really quick. And when it comes then, for example, to business critical aspects like changing pricing, changing products, or if ingredients is not there anymore, it's really important to work with data integrated solutions that everything gets automatically from systems and everything is really connected to each other.
It's also based on quick service restaurants. We have a lot of delivery services around Europe in all cities, bigger cities and all in smaller right now. Is it also something that's based on technology and also based then basically on ordering boards, or is it just that more or less it's a kind of mobile application that is running for the restaurants?
I would say you really need to know your customers. I think not everybody who goes to quick service restaurants are ready for mobile ordering. And you need to also consider the people who are going to a restaurant maybe once a month and they probably don't have an app. So you need to reach your customers on different levels. And that's why I think it's a combination of everything, of all the technologies. And when it comes especially to menu boards, the menu boards change and it's more an inspirational board. And the kiosks and the mobile solutions are more the one for for younger people and for heavy users who go there quite often.
Okay. I think even in Germany, we're a little bit behind the technology possibilities that could be able to run in a restaurant. Do you have any experience out of Germany that the content is more influenced to the clients or even to the people that are just in front of the systems?
We've done some testing in the Nordics where we work more with template-based generated menu boards and not with MP4 files. So everything gets automatically from a system where we have 30 different parameters. And then as the owner of the restaurant, you need to give out of the control. So you really need to consider if you want to give the control to like systems or not. And that's a decision the companies needs to take nowadays.
It's quite interesting as well. So my expertise is more in stadium and hotels, hospitality, but actually the earlier retail QSR concepts are now flowing into those markets. So they're not at the point of doing the mobile ordering, the interactive ordering, not en masse anyway. There are like pockets where they're a little bit more sophisticated, but we have started seeing the sort of base level QSR concept coming into the concourse in a stadium where you want those active dynamic menu boards, you want the adverts and the moving content, and then again into hotels where now they're starting to see the retail experience and trying to bring it into the lobby, into their on-site cafes and restaurants, and so like the retail market has like massively influenced how stadium sports, entertainment, hospitality sells F&B as well.
I think basically the difference between the hospitality market and the quick service restaurant market is that on the hospitality market, the mobile apps are just really ahead of the within the QSR market, but in the store they have been a change based on that. So do you have any QSR or a menu board or even kiosk-related solutions within stadiums or something?
So we do have so we have a few technologies that we can deploy. So there are interactive kiosk-based solutions in a few hotels. In the sports market, they're really averse to interactive. So the screens generally in a concourse in a stadium are out of reach. Depending on how the game goes, they could be a target quite quickly. So a lot of these concepts are more been brought into the luxury seating, into the hospitality areas. So you might find that they'll deploy through an interactive TV portal for food ordering and things like that, or through an app. Very rarely through a sort of full-on kiosk, but one or two hotels now have started deploying the more kiosk-based.
So even in a stadium, it's just another journey because you want to watch the game or the concert on and have an additional service on the screens based on what you're normally just doing in the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the digital menus and the sort of retail side becomes just another type of content that you can display through the existing systems that they use.
Yeah.
Maybe I can add something. I was in Oslo 2 weeks ago, and the first time I went to this hotel and I could check in on a display.
Yes.
And then I went up to my room and I thought it's working, and it didn't work. So I needed to go down, and then I talked to the receptionist, and then she helped me that the card is working. But then at this point, technology disappointed me. And so I think it's really, really important that if you use all this new technology, that it really works. And
I think that's a good point as well around, like I said, engagement. So engagement is obviously a key driver for technology in a lot of places, and obviously a theme of this week's event. And I think a lot of hotels are starting to use technology as a way to sort of augment staffing levels. And that's a way to address problems for guests and customers, and making sure that they have a way to serve those guests on reduced numbers of employees. But when it goes wrong, I say the engagement is worse, and you still need the people there to fall back on. So it's quite a difficult balance to get between tech and human.
But even from my personal feeling, or what happens to me every time I'm really traveling a lot, probably. Sometimes I'm just trying to get a room in a hotel. I'm normally booked in the same hotel chain every time, and at around 5:30 to 6:30 there is a massive row every time in this hotel. Even I asked them why are you not building up a kiosk or something, because I paid in advance. They know me. They have my contact details. All this they're up and running. And what they told me is, and I also asked some other hotels later on, that within the hotel industry, the software basically are really on a low-level standard. Is that something you're facing too as well?
So check-in software we don't currently. We are we have looked at it as a software to deploy, but they tend to be siloed softwares, and I think it's like anything. There's some of that software is good and some of that software is not good. I've had great experiences with self-checking in some places, and in others not so much. I think it comes down to the product you're using and usually the price you're paying.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe the hotel there in question hasn't had a good experience when they've had a demonstration with someone, but it definitely works. It does work. I've seen it work.
Yeah. And even it's nearly the same thing as the ordering process within a QSR restaurant. They built it up the first kiosks, and the people was just standing in front of it and saying, "Oh, what I'm doing here now." But even they thought, "Oh, we do not have to stay in a row now, so let's take the kiosk." And even that's the same part. Even the education to that is probably the QSR restaurants are much quicker at that point, because basically they have another return on invest, not only on the employees, they also have to, they had some changes in the kitchen, and even of the goods they're producing, they have advantages based on that. So even the predictive product placement for food would be on another level, and even then they have another return on invest. And if the people are just standing there, they do not have to pay them if you as a guest are standing there for just 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think I read that around 80% use a kiosk in Germany for the big burger chain, and I mean that's a lot. And the reason for this is, of course, that they don't have staff anymore who wants to take on the orders. And for us at Visual Art, it's always really important that it's not just about the technical solutions, also about brand awareness. And the kiosk is, you cannot build relations with the kiosk, so you need to find others. You need to find other ways also in quick restaurants to get into brand connection, brand awareness, and then use your staff to prepare really good food instead of getting orders in, for example.
Yeah, but even the dessert that was serving every time, nobody wanted to have it. But now, if we want to have an additional burger or something, that works out more. And I think the loyalty programs are just on a high level based on that. So even that's coming to that point that. We also talked about this, how many orders are coming from the mobile app aspect to the kiosk directly in the shop, and I think that is something that's really changing as well. But coming back to hospitality and stadiums, what are the biggest really challenges you're facing right now when you seen, for example, next year's coming up the European Championship in Germany? What are the biggest questions from your customers for stadiums and for installations?
Just how much discount we can give them, I think.
Okay, that's Germans.
I guess it's been in there at the right time, so that's some of the challenges. But I guess one of the concepts that is a challenge in hospitality in stadiums, probably in retail as well. Going back to the point around staffing levels, is how they use technology to generate ROI. Additionally, how do they use technology to replace human interaction? How do they use technology to create that engagement between people? Because hospitality traditionally and retail traditionally has been a human game. Hospitality is built on one-to-one interaction and talking to people, and when you lose that, when you replace that with technologies, then how do you replace that, and how do you upsell? How do you maximize the sort of the visit of every individual? So how do you get the most money out of every person who visits your store, your stadium, your hotel? And so a lot of people now are starting to look at what we call active engagement. Mm-hmm. So a lot of retailers, a lot of hospitaliers, and entertainment sport have used passive engagement. So it's, here's some content, isn't that great? But never asking for you to perform an action. It's just brilliant. Yes, yeah, you're selling shirts. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And now it has to switch to the sort of. So there was a really good slide this morning in Florian's deck. Around creating that action point, and I think that's what everyone's got to get to, where they're they're finding a way to connect the user to services through other technologies. So, not just putting a screen up on the wall, providing a QR code where they can download a discount. Thank you very much for checking in on the self-service kiosk. Here's 25% off in the restaurant tonight with a nice code that they can download. So I think that's the challenge is finding a way to maximize the visit of every user from a financial perspective without the human interaction. And so creating those active engagement connections between each of the technological services and making sure every person can get there's a transaction. We're giving you something in exchange for you interacting with our displays, with our kiosks.
So even it's the same thing that we're talking about for years and years now. The content and the solution has to be relevant at that point. Even if it's not relevant, or if it's not triggering any action or something else, it doesn't make any sense to this.
And I think looking at the content as a campaign is a key part of that, and I think that's where marketing people coming into the decision making process starts to impact that. Marketers look at things in campaigns rather than a piece of content on a TV, and I think that approach will start to make the content make sense, have the context at each engagement point to deliver a full campaign across an entire. It could be just a shop, it could be an entire fleet of stores, it could be an entire stadium or a collection of arenas run by the same company, but looking at it as a campaign rather than as I need something on my tellies to help me sell more.
So based in your environment, on your installations or projects, do you have any experience based on visual assistance or on bots that helps the people doing what or solving their questions quickly?
I don't have a lot, to be honest. I think it in hospitality maybe it's there is still that sort of. I think the people who could afford that don't want to do it because they have a higher level of.
Basically, everybody's looking for employees, and we're not able to get enough employees, and that's mainly the driver also to get them on another level and to use technology as a solution maker for this, based on chats or chatbots or anything else. You do not have any requests on that right now?
At present, no. Maybe that'll change, but I haven't seen it.
No, not yet. It's more that we don't have any playlists anymore. It's more that everything generates itself, but not with chats.
So basically, when you're not having playlists just generated on fly, let it say that way, it's based on rules, or how do you really look for which content's going to be played next time?
Yeah, it's more than with triggers. The easiest example is if it's cold outside, then we play a lot of coffee and maybe a really nice snack. And if it's hot, we play more ice cream, of course. But this is triggers when it comes to weather or day part triggers, or if they don't have enough cucumbers, then maybe they don't offer cucumbers anymore. Like more of these triggers which we're using for now.
So, but basically on the rules, you're locating every store to this point. So it's not a kind of, I have this rule now for everybody. It's just the cucumber is off in this store, so you're not going to play it. It's not a QSR thing. It's probably a grocery thing. But at the end, it's that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So the triggers, you define them directly with the client, or are they coming up with the ideas to that, or is it a kind of consultancy that is needful within getting the integrators' work done?
We do a lot of consultancy in the beginning, a lot of workshops. To really get to know the customers, because we are experts in digital signage, but they are experts in their clients, and we need to combine the expertise to then offer the right solutions for both.
Yeah, coming to a point Florian mentioned this morning as well, it's sustainability. And we're all talking about this, and we all are looking for this, and everybody wants to have a green flag and helping out for this. But are your clients really asking for this? And are your organization is able to service the requirements based on sustainability, James?
So we are getting the questions starting now. So I'd say the last 6 to 12 months, we're starting to see people requesting your CSR statements and green policies in tender responses in in the process of selling. So it's become a, and I mean, I looked at the stat this morning about the carbon credits people have to buy and the price increase and that, and that sort of I hadn't seen that data, but that gives an indication of why people are now starting to ask these questions. They're starting to look ahead for the next 2 years. So the projects that those credits are going to impact are now being planned. They're being planned today, and they're being so I can see why those questions have started coming. But yeah, I mean, we can help. We can service. I think some of this is, you look at France, where screens have to be switched off after 6 p.m. So
okay, you still have this rule, because in Germany, I think we not used to it anymore.
I think so. I think it's still so it's part of their environmental policy. I might, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone around the room knows, but there are certain feature things you can do. Obviously, centralized control, automatic switch off, so taking triggers to switch screens off at certain times, switch screens on when someone passes, those kind of things. And so there's software elements we can do. I think the other side that we are looking at, and we have looked at for a long time, is recyclable, sustainable packaging and responsible sourcing of components. So trying to get as much as we can as local as possible. And so there's some of those elements that we've taken on as a manufacturer. So we manufacture digital signage media players as well as develop software. And so So that's a part of what we are trying to do, and at the minute, sort of the measures we are taking is being welcomed from a response perspective. I think there's probably more we can do. I think it's like anyone, there's more we can do. We're still in sort of not infancy, but early stages of really sort of getting serious with the challenges we've got. So I think yes is the answer. Yes, we are getting asked these questions, and we are doing.
Maike, in your organization or your clients, are they also asking for it?
I mean, when it comes to quick service restaurants, most of the time they're open 24/7, so the displays needs to run 24/7. But what we try to, when we work in concept phases, we try to say, okay, you have your kiosk now, then maybe you don't need 5 menu boards, maybe you reduce this to 2 or 3 screens and play different content, so then that they reduce the electricity or the cost for displays in store. And of course, we can, with our software, control each screen individually when it comes to turn on power subsumption.
Yeah. So even it's within the concept phase, you try and also to have sustainable background to probably look what is the journey about, and then what you said, reducing the numbers of displays and all that. Yeah. Are there? We're nearly to the end of our discussion today. Are there any questions or additional points that we should talk to or about? No. Okay, then thank you, Maike. I think we've done it all.
Oh, not enough.
No. You have to take another 2 hours now. We're gonna talk again. No. Then thank you very much for being here, Maike, James. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.